223 turnovers in a single season. I mean, I know casual fans want to talk about that 2.3 million viewer peak, right? But when we rolled back the game tape for SportsPulseHQ, mapping her passing chart against an aggressive hedge-and-trap coverage makes the Olympic snub just incredibly obvious.
Wait, hold on. You are falling into the exact same trap as the casuals here.
No, I'm literally just looking at the tape.
But you are pointing at the gross turnover number and totally ignoring the geometry of the floor. The second she crosses that 28-foot line, defenses are entirely selling out to stop her.
Right, because she's a threat?
Exactly. So the pressure is so immediate that her processing windows shrink to literally fractions of a second. You know, no one else on that roster carries that kind of offensive burden.
I don't buy the burden excuse when there is a glaring mechanical failure on tape. Watch what happens when she gets trapped on the baseline. The second she feels that double team, she just panics and leaves her feet.
Well, she's trying to see over the trap.
Sure, but mechanically, the moment you leave your feet without a designated target, you lose your pivot foot. You are just stuck in the air.
Yeah, that is true.
The passing lanes completely vanish because the defense knows exactly when you have to release the ball. That is why her turnover percentage in those specific situations spikes to a catastrophic 25.3%.
Which is undeniably high, yes.
You simply cannot run an elite half-court offense when your primary ball handler is gifting the opposition 5 live ball transitions a game. The processing window just evaporates.
Okay, well, we can talk about baseline traps and offensive processing all day, but I want to completely pivot here. If we want to talk about actual tactical liabilities, let's look at her isolated off-ball tracking when she doesn't have the rock. She clocks a bottom-tier 108.4 defensive rating.
The weak side tracking.
Yes, watch the weak side tape. She consistently drifts out of position on backdoor cuts. But the real killer, the absolute worst part, is she has this habit of literally locking her knees while ball watching.
Oh yeah, the stance is terrible.
Right? When your knees are locked, you have zero coil. You have to take a full extra gather step just to change direction. And that yields a direct, completely uncontested line right to the rim for cutters.
That is a huge point. If you contrast that weak side tape with the veteran guards on the roster, like Jackie Young.
Right.
When Young is on the weak side, she drops into the helper slot with a clean 40-degree lateral hip turn.
Because her hips are already open.
Exactly. Because her hips are turned and her knees are bent, she can explode laterally the literal second a pass is deflected. I mean, it is night and day mechanically compared to locking your joints and standing straight up.
And that creates a massive domino effect for the entire defensive unit. Putting her on a floor with someone like Chelsea Gray means Gray has to completely abandon her own perimeter assignment.
Just to cover the mistake.
Yes, just to sprint over and cover those blown weak side rotations. You know, at the international level, you just cannot survive if your help defense is constantly scrambling to plug gaps created by a single player's locked knees.
Which brings us right back to the offensive end.